Hi everyone. Sorry for the background. I just ran out of time for getting my background set up. It's just gonna be me today. Adrian is out traveling and, enjoying the summer. So that's great for her. We love that for her. Um, yeah. I wanted really to do a live this Saturday because I missed last week. I just I was just too tired, honestly. I can't even remember what I was doing last week, but I was so exhausted and I just completely spaced creating topics and getting anything done um, for the live stream. So yeah, so I want to do a live stream today just to try and keep having a live stream every month. Um, yeah, so welcome. I know people kind of trickle in a little bit later after the stream really gets going. So just kind of here right now, talking to the air, to the ether. Oh my goodness. How has everyone's summer been like this July? In Cameron, it's just so hot. We haven't really had any good rain um, to cool the area down. And that's really eating away our electric bill because we have to keep the AC on just to be comfortable at night, I guess, is the way to put it. And yeah, just killing time. So as usual, hi everyone, welcome back to Navajo Tea Time. This is another one of our streaming videos. Me and Adrian have definitely been trying to get together to do our normal pre-recorded videos. It's just she's been super busy. I've been super busy. We just haven't been able to meet up all year, really, to get any pre recorded videos or interviews scheduled or done. And I think that's kind of throwing off my rhythm with this channel because I definitely wanted it to be more than just live streams. I definitely wanted to be able to do more research into topics and be able to convey those topics to you guys with, experts or people in their field or who are experiencing those hardships right away. Um, but let's just begin really the stream with how Adrienne usually begins the stream or likes to begin the stream, and that's with what she calls roses and thorns. So if you haven't been here the past two streams, roses and thorns is just sort of like good things and bad things, your wins and your struggles for this past month. And if you guys feel like sharing your roses and thorns, feel so and put that in the chat so I don't feel so alone out here on the internet. Um, and yeah, so I guess we'll just start with me. I like to start with thorns, sort of like good news, bad news. Give me the bad news first, um, in a way. And so, um, business on my end for happy accidents. It's kind of been a bit slow, and it's just been really hot to just try and doing any type of work in the office. And it's kind of weird because my business, it's like you also have to be in a creative mood to get some of these things done and some of the planning and stuff created. And when you're just, especially me, I don't do the heat very well. I don't work well in the heat. Um, I can't think. My mind doesn't work straight. I just get really irritated and annoyed um, when I'm all hot and bothered, I guess. And so trying to create creatively um, just gets slowed down on me, and so I haven't really been able to focus on work in the office just because of how hot it is. Um, so yeah, so business has been slow, which means, low on funds and stuff to do anything. Just sitting here in Cameron, sweating away. Um, some roses. I had kind of like a temp job where I worked with um, an organization out of NAU called the Indigenous Youth Media Workshop. I think that's what it was called. I'll leave a link in the playback, but it was really nice to be able to do that job and to be able to let me just turn the internet off on my phone so I have a better connection. Um, it was nice to be able to work with some of the high schoolers and be in more of like a mentor position where I was teaching the stuff I know to people who are interested, and just, I don't know, sharing my life advice. I don't feel like I have much life advice to share, but yeah, it was a nice switch up for me of just being able to network and work with younger people coming up into the field, you know what I mean? um, yeah, and then for me, for the past few months, I feel like I've been in this odd space, and I know it reflects on the channel and the amount of content I've been creating or not creating and not putting out. And I feel like now I'm sort of like emerging from that space. Like maybe I was just burnt out, or maybe the universe was like, hey, you need to sit and be still for a while. And I don't I don't like being told to sit still. Um, Sometimes I feel like, like sharks where they just have to keep moving or they die. Sometimes I feel like that, where like if I'm not constantly moving or pushing forward or trying to go to the next thing or the next goal, the next action step or whatever, I feel like I'm just gonna die. um, but yeah, nah, I kind of feel like I'm coming out of that space now. Um, I feel like I've had the time to think about what I wanted to do into the future, some work I want to focus on, going back and taking maybe like a class or getting a certificate in a specific area that I really enjoy doing. Kind of like, so you guys heard me talk about like my bullet journal and my planning and how I love scheduling and creating plans and creating action steps and goals and getting people organized, whether or not I myself am organized, um, isn't part of that equation. But I just felt like this really strong urge to try and make that a service that I provide, of like maybe strategic planning or helping people set goals. So, not even just people, like I feel like I can take that to like different organizations and things. So, yeah, that's one of the plans I want to do. I really feel excited. Like the few people I've been talking to about it, I just get this big smile on my face just thinking about creating plans for people and helping people figure out how to do their own goals and create their own lives and businesses or to get to their next milestone. It's just, I love goal setting and planning so much, so why not be able to help other people do that? Um, yeah, so having a new perspective on my path is a major rose that I think I've been waiting on for a really long time. Because, like I said, like the past couple of months, I felt like I've just been in this bog or this place where I've just been getting all of these signs or ideas, or just feeling like I had to wait, and now that wait is over. Hopefully, um, and I'm gonna put my goal planning passion to use and really write down what these goals are, um, and where I want to go. So yeah, so that's just the intro of the roses and thorns, of just how I've been this past month and a half. Um, but let me know down below what you guys been doing, some struggles or some wins that you've had the past month. The last time we talked, I think the last stream was really great because we had a lot of feedback, and not everyone agrees with us and not everyone's always going to agree with us, and we welcome that, not pushback, but like honest and open conversations about things without the negativity. So yeah. Um so on my post I kind of mentioned that I was going to sort of do small topics today because I know it was just going to be me and Adrian wasn't going to be able to be on, and wanted to talk about some of the topics that the audience, we kind of like did a poll last year about like topics you guys wanted us to dive more into or talk more about. And one of the things that I haven't really mentioned or haven't even really posted about this year is my garden and gardening. And that's just because I haven't been keeping up with it on my own. I just been keeping the roses, the lavender, the mint, the lemon balm, and my rosemary alive. The stuff like I planted last year and a couple years before. Just those herbs that kind of go dormant during the winter and come back alive during the spring and the summer. Um, yeah, I've just been keeping those guys alive right now, and I tried to do some starters. Like I really want to make like a tea garden where I plant herbs and flowers and things that I can use to make my own tea. And so I bought chamomile and this. Hi, can you hear me now? Oh no. There was no sound. I'm so sorry. I'll be right back. I am going to get a charger for my headphones so they don't die on me again, okay? I'll be right back. Boop. Okay, I'm back. Sometimes the headphones, if I'm not actively listening, they'll automatically turn off. Um, so because me and Adrian aren't talking to each other, I don't have any sound coming through the headphones. So that's why they died. And keeping it plugged in will keep it from dying. I don't know where you guys stopped hearing me from, but I guess I can just reiterate the gardening in that I took everyone's advice and waited until April, and then none of my starters started. And so I've just been keeping my plants alive. And I'm thinking next year I'll definitely go by my own intuition and plant the way I like to plant, the way that it's been proven to work for me. Um, and I think some more topics. Oh, hi, John Thomas. Thanks for being here. It's nice to know someone's listening. Um, so yeah, another topic I know our viewers wanted us to talk more about is traditional teachings and Diné history. And just getting started on those topics has proven to be a lot more mental bandwidth than me or Adrian have been able to provide this year. Me with the new baby, and Adrian starting her new job down in the valley. And yeah, so that's been really taking a lot of just a big toll on our own schedules, because we would definitely like to be able to provide accurate information, but then also have other experts in each of those subjects be able to come on and talk too, like with interviews or provide more context. And I feel like specifically with like native or indigenous history and knowledge, there's a lot of people who know a little bit about everything. Like there's some people who are more knowledgeable in one section, and then you'll find someone else who knows a little bit more about a different topic. Even if it's within the same scope, like even with like herbs or planting techniques, even like the knowledge of traditional clothing and jewelry, everyone has their own, I don't want to say like their own version, but basically their own version or their own teachings that's been passed down to them from their family and from their elders and ancestors. So I would like to just be able to get all of those, not all, but as much as I can, those teachings and everything. Even the language, it's very different with like the dialect from one region to the other. And so just those nuances of how diverse the knowledge is proven a lot harder to figure out where to start and wanting to get that information accurate. um, yeah, so it's the half year, kind of like, well, a little bit past the half year. It's 7 months in already, July. I know me and Adrian will have to go back to like the planning board and figuring out what the rest of this year is going to look like for Navajo Tea Time. Trying to get those shorts created so that we can boost up the algorithm and, you know, our goal is to be monetized, and for that we either need 1,000 subs and 5,000 minutes of views or whatever. We need to upload like 3 videos, like basically a video a month. It just gets really nitty gritty, and then with like the shorts, they've added that into part of getting monetized, and so that's definitely one of the goals. And I know people have mentioned wanting to get merch, and that also takes time to design and find a good retailer on our end, and that's just been something we haven't been able to work on or touch base on, just because like of the previous um, statement of not having just the time or the bandwidth to be able to focus on those administrative duties as much as we would have liked. Um, but yeah, that's kind of where we are. Me and Adrian definitely need to get together and figure out what we're gonna do for the rest of the year. I feel like October is sort of like the month we really get back into filming videos, just because we like talking about spooky, scary things, and it's sort of the time where we're allowed to start talking about more traditional things and, like just the Navajo New Year going around, that feeling. It's getting colder, so it's a lot more pleasant to be up here working. Um, and as always, we would definitely like more feedback on what you want us to talk about. We take our audience's opinion into consideration. Um, but I feel like recently there's been some topics that we don't want to talk about, mainly just because they don't really align with our mission, especially if the topics have been all over the place. Like it's very, like if the topics are a little bit too visible, and that's not what we want to talk about. We want to talk about things that people don't normally talk about, especially when it comes to like a lot of the political leaders and their situations. And it feels like a lot of people want our opinions to criticize, and that's not where we want to be. We don't want to just be talking about the bad or all the horrible things people are doing. We want to be able to talk in a way where there are solutions that can be offered up. And so sometimes if the topics are just gossip or just bashing people, that doesn't really feel right for us in a way. Um, Hello, Deathcrim13. I'm doing good. I feel like I said at the beginning of the stream, feel like a little bit more rejuvenated and ready to start on some major projects and passion projects, and um, maybe getting a certificate in project management to help with my business, Navajo Tea Time, and maybe offer it up as a service as a consultant. So I'm definitely planning big things. How are you doing? Um, but yeah, so if you do feel passionate about a topic and you want to appear on the show either through the live or in person, I created a Google form um, that you can fill out and we can see what topics. It just helps us. Um, it just helps us plan better and give us the information that we're gonna need um, to prepare ourselves on the topic as well, and figure out what your capability is of being on the show or on the live, or maybe come to Flagstaff if that's within your ability. So there's that link there in the chat, and then I'll also put it in the description with the replay. If you want to be on the show, it's not a guarantee, but it's the easiest way for you to reach out to us if you want to be on the show. Um, Hi, Phil. I assume you're driving, so I hope you drive safe out there. I don't know where you are, but in Cameron it's getting kind of windy, and I know those semis look scary driving next to them in the wind, or those RVs. Oh my goodness, that's up 89. Those RVs are just wobbling all over the the highway. Excuse me, my throat's getting dry. Usually Adrian's here to take up most of the talking. All right, next section, news. So some news that I found that my community has been paying attention to, um, and it also goes with some of the topics that the audience want. Some of the audience has mentioned from last year when we did our poll is, what is the president doing? Um, and what I found was this is just kind of like a direct quote from Boo Nygren's Facebook page, so take it how you will with how they spin it or what they leave out, and it's just Navajo President Boo Nygren has signed this historical northeastern Arizona Indian rights settlement with Hopi and Paiute leaders. Um, Navajo Nation Boo Nygren joined leaders from the Hopi tribe and southern San Juan Paiute tribe to sign the historic Northeastern Arizona Indian Waters Rights Settlement Agreement at the Heard Museum today. I don't remember what, I think it was like this past week. Um, the agreement proposes to bring reliable, safe, and clean drinking water to the tribes. It ensures a permanent homeland for Diné, Hopi, and Southern Paiute people. So that's something the president has done. I know I was seeing a lot of posts asking like where Boo Nygren was and how come he wasn't commenting on like the fire issue. Oh, it's not a good agreement. I don't know. um, I don't know. I've seen that too. I've seen some people saying that they should have asked for more rights or something, but I don't. I'm not the political head here at Navajo Tea Time. That's mainly Adrian, and she's been out, doing different things. I think she was at a conference this past week out in California for different Indigenous leaders, which was really great for her, especially with the work she does down in the valley. Um, like, it'd be nice to bring someone on to like dissect some of these agreements or some of these things, because when I read really long texts that are like really technical, kind of like IRS stuff, it's just like my mind just my eyes go to the back of my head and I'm like, this is boring. I'm not comprehending any of it. And with my reading disability, it just makes me hard to concentrate on those words anyway. So having someone read it or break it down to me helps me a lot better, like discussing some of the points. Because you have to look back, it's supposed to just be the now way of life. Um, I'm not exactly sure what that's alluding to or supposed to mean because I wasn't raised traditional. And so I don't know if that goes into like the isolationist way of life of like we don't work with other people, or that's what I'm reading that as. Correct me if I'm wrong in that comment. Um, I just thought it was nice that all the tribes could agree on something for once. But I know sometimes one tribe usually gets the shorter end of the stick. But I haven't researched or looked into that agreement um, to really understand fully what rights were given to who. Um, so yeah, if you guys have any questions or any topics you want me to try and talk about right now, leave them in the chat. I might be able to discuss something. I probably won't know much. I have a lot of mom brain um, and just it being ridiculously hot. Um, I'm not great at thinking in the heat. um, some announcements, I guess. We're going to try and do another stream next Saturday, about the same time, 6, 7 o'clock. Um, mainly because August, it feels funny to say like we're taking the month of August off. Um, because I feel like we haven't really been doing a lot um, in terms of like creating videos, just live streams when we can. Um, but yeah, so August, I don't think we'll be doing a live stream in August. That's why we'll be doing one next Saturday, the last Saturday of the month, I believe. Yeah. Um, and for the no haul video or interview that I did back in March, I had to definitely review the footage a lot more intensely than I usually would have if it was a fresh interview because the dates or like what we were talking about was relevant at that time and up to date at that time. And I know there was definitely some time sensitive things that we were talking about. Um, and I just have to go back and research and see if what I said was still current or what they were saying was still current in the videos. Um, and it's going to be like a 3-part video. So maybe those will go live during August, but we probably won't be doing, or those will be uploaded during August, but we probably won't be doing any lives, is what I'm trying to say. The old folks, they lived hard. You had to look at that. They're the reason why we're here, the suffering of life. Sorry to say that. Um, I understand not taking the easy way out on a lot of things. I know with my family, when we do our family sharing, we still use the hand scissors. And just from the connections my different aunts have made, um, other people from outside of the community, outside of the tribe, come and they help. And when my great grandma was still alive, they would ask, how come you don't just use the electrical shears? It'll go a lot faster, it'll be a lot easier. And I do remember them talking about like it's the work, it's the hard work you put into the the shearing is what's part of it. But I feel like with the water rights, it's not that like it's making life easier, it's just it's making life livable because of the severe droughts we've had and just the choices past governments have made about like mining and the dam, the different dams and the different diversions of the water tables and draining the water tables that have happened, that I feel like a basic right for all living people and animals is water. So being able to make sure the people at least have access to that basic right, I think is a good thing. And yeah, and not to get too much of like the climate change and it's definitely harder, like the monsoons haven't been as great as of the past few years. So water and water rights and being able to make sure livestock have water, make sure the people in the community have water, I think is definitely there's something that needs to be done. Because I feel like if there's no water here and if we can't get water here, there's no point in staying. Do you know what I mean? um, that's just how I feel with that. Like trying to obtain a basic right for people to live, I think is something that's good. But like I said, I haven't read into the agreement to know if there's like anything shady or weird going on, if there's anything on a deeper level. And I've known in the past, like different policies or agreements, sometimes there's clauses that get built in order for the agreement to go through that have nothing to do with the agreement. So I don't know if that could be a part of that. Am I a Star Trek fan? I've never gotten into the story. Um, I don't have strong feelings about it either way. I'm more of like Star Wars, Marvel, Mortal Kombat. Um, those are kind of my wheelhouses of fandoms. It was just never something that was a part of my family. Um, but yeah, I've been watching that new show on Disney Plus, Acolyte. I'm not caught up on it yet, but it seems interesting. Um, I enjoy seeing different cultures or whatever in the Star Wars universe where like, this one's more on like Force users outside of Jedi or Sith at the beginning, or like kind of their backstory. So that's kind of interesting to see. Um, water usage, now water going to go like nothing. Yeah, it's the water, it's a very touchy subject because I know when I was doing a lot of stuff with my Envision Cameron project grant and listening in on CLUP and the different chapter concerns about like water feasibility with trying to grow the community. And like, I think there's a hotel that was already been cleared to be built. um, and so like, what's the water feasibility for them to have a major hotel? And it's definitely like a fine line of like trying to grow the community but also trying to grow in a sustainable way. And it's just difficult sometimes when people butt heads when they think their way is the only correct way, or like, what I see is like younger kids trying to bring back their education on like, these are the ways we've learned through the education that you told us to get on how we can live and how we can grow. But then you get that pushback from people saying, no, this is the way we've always done it, so we're just going to keep it the same way. And sometimes it's hard to be a part of that within the community of like, I want to help, but you guys won't let me help. And sometimes things just feel stagnant, and like stagnant water, it gets gross and starts to go bad. And it's definitely hard to try and tell people like just to listen or to consider different solutions. Because maybe the way they're talking about is correct, but it's very disheartening when the community or some of the elders or even the people in the chapter position don't even let you have a voice to talk about the knowledge that you've gained through like education and your lived experiences. And then they go around and complain that no young people come to the meetings or get involved. And that the young people who do get involved, they just get yelled at and get told to sit down and be quiet. You don't know what's going on. You know what I mean? Yeah, the relocation has definitely, like, until this past February, I didn't know much about the relocation and the issues and just how traumatic it was, um, until my company did the live streaming for that relocation summit at Twin Arrows back in February, and just listening to everyone. And I can empathize and feel and understand, but I also I have sometimes that pessimistic view of like, the government doesn't care, like the federal government doesn't care. You know what I mean? Like, fixing what they did to the tribal borders and sending different families away. In my mind, they accomplished what they set out to do. You know, they redrew the line so they can get permissions from different tribes to do different drillings and different land desecrations. And they kind of broke some of the spirit of some of the tribal people. I feel like that was part of some of their goal or some of their thing of like, they wanted to do that. And so I don't think they're going to try and fix it because that was the plan. And I don't know if the president tried to talk about getting the land back or having some sort of agreement with the land. But I personally just don't feel like the federal government is going to fix what they did to us in that respect. Well, that was a sad note. Um, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's really hard to just it's really hard to figure out what the negotiations were and whether or not they had any leverage or leeway um, to be able to ask for that, or if they did ask for it and they were shot down. I know politics and getting resolutions passed, especially major ones with like water rights, especially in Arizona, there was probably a lot of give and take um, from the tribes. Hmm. I don't know anything about that. Yeah, sometimes you get people who come into the community and try, um, and sometimes people just, for better or worse, um, you get people who actually want to help, and then you get the people who just want to leech off and make a profit. And it's definitely hard to figure out who is who, and who to trust or who not to trust. And that's definitely something I see within my own community of not wanting to trust outsiders. And sometimes they have good ideas, sometimes they come with great plans, and sometimes you just don't know what their plans are. And it gets frustrating just having the trust issues within the community and being able to grow our community because, like I said, like there are bad apples out there that try and just make a profit off of our suffering and our difficulties. Oh, hi, Brooke. um, yeah, we're winding down. Kind of. We're definitely winding down. The talk. I've been talking for like 50 minutes now. Can probably tell the strain in my voice. Um, so yeah, just recapping some of the announcements of earlier in the chat. I posted a link for a forum if you guys want to be a guest on the Navajo Tea Time show. The best way to pitch that is to go to the forum there. Um, the No Hall interview, I need to look in and just fact check and make sure what we were talking about is up to date or still current. I know what we were waiting for is right now the Pinyon Plain mine, which is a uranium mine outside of Tucson. They're mining right now, and the next step for them hauling the uranium material through the Navajo Nation is getting a truck contract. So I just want to know if that's still what we're waiting for. Um, and I know there's a lot of organizations, the Coconino County, and everyone trying to stop the transportation. So, and just some more information about the organization No Hall and what they do, and some of the things that they've been doing, and some of the stuff that they've done in the past. So, I just, like I said, it's like a three-part video. I don't think they'll be in live in August, and so we'll do another live next Saturday. Um, Hopefully, Adrian. She said she might be able to make it. She'll have to check her schedule. So it'll be me and Adrian again next Saturday. So you'll get 2 streams in a week, but then probably no stream in August. But you'll have those 3 videos coming out. Yeah. So if there's no other questions, I think we're coming up onto time right now. Um, I'll take a water and give you guys time to ask any questions. Yeah, no one agrees with the transportation. Every organization or company or nonprofit, the Coconino County, no one wants the transportation at all. But the only person who can stop it is the state governor. So, yeah, it's definitely dangerous, especially if, like, going right next 89. I think 89 used to be called Killer 89 because of all the accidents that happened on that highway, and that's just not going to be a good time. Yes, it's definitely good to try and talk about it and trying to get to an end. Um, Especially through Cameron, we have like 110 mines out here, and yeah, it's just the uranium has definitely left a scar on our community. And like I said, everyone I've talked to about the topic has been trying to fight and figure out a way to stop it. And the only answer we can come up with is that the state governor has to say, yeah, has to stop it. Um, so I don't know how to go around getting the governor to stop, because I'm sure they'll get kickbacks or payment or something, um, taxes at least for the mining. Um, but yeah, definitely those videos will come out in August. Um, and I think we're about out of time. It's been about an hour streaming. Um, you guys can continue talking in the chat. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Trying to get to 1,000 subscribers so we can become monetized and everything. And yeah, thanks everyone for being here. It was nice finally being able to chat with Phil. Sometimes he's on and he's like, I'm driving, I can't talk. So that was really great. Yeah, uranium, it destroys everything. It's destroyed our area before, and we're trying to clean it up, and now they want to just truck it through the communities. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. And I hope to see you guys next Saturday with Adrian. All right, I'll go net.